I've known Chris quite a while. Her parents were neighbors to us for many years when we moved back in 71. And so I knew her parents and their family. And then when my children were small, Chris babysat for me and was really good with them. Then she was active in the community, in church and school, of course. And then she went away to college and got a nursing degree. Came back or they got married. She married Jerry Gilland and came back to Williston, and she was a nurse there. And then they moved really close to us, just a couple of miles north of our farm. So they were very close neighbors. And Chris was very busy with her nursing, so we didn't probably see them a lot at that point. I was busy with kids, and she was busy with her little ones. And then I think Daniel was around 2 when she had a poisoning and was putting chips around a tree, and there were chemicals in that and caused her body, she had a great reaction. That changed her life pretty fast. I think she tried to nurse for about a week or so, tried to do some nursing, but she got so ill she couldn't continue. And so she was stuck at home. I think they did research and found out that they needed to change the lifestyle to help her get over the reactions. No chemicals, so they had to do a lot of different things. The blessing was her parents and her in-laws were very close by, so they were able to help her with the children and all her day-to-day activities, because I think for a couple of years she was very sick. And then once they started doing things to help not have so many chemicals around, she started getting a little bit better. Jerry tore out the carpet, put in wood floors. All of their furnitures and things had to be wood or cotton, organic cotton. I remember going over and helping them paint the walls in their house with a sealer so that smell would be gone. And so there were just lots of things that needed to be done. She had to eat organically, so they did a lot of gardening and no visitors because you had to have no fragrance on you. And she couldn't leave her house because she would have large reactions. I remember her living in the porch for a while on the farm while he did a lot of things inside. And she couldn't attend functions anywhere. She couldn't go to church. She couldn't go to the school things of her children, couldn't visit other people, her parents or neighbors, because of all the chemicals and smells. And I know she needed products for her body, lotions and that type of thing, and she couldn't use a lot of she found things that were fragrance-free, but they weren't as good as she would have liked, so she developed Dakota Free. She started making her own products, which are wonderful, and I still use a lot of them today. They're great. And they established a business with that. I know she did a lot of work with that, but just think she couldn't go to the doctor, she couldn't go to the dentist. She was homebound, so I know we all think we'd like to stay home, but when you are there and cannot leave, it would be a whole different story. That would be hard. I know we had a Bible study that we would go once a week, and a prayer group, we called it, and would do a Bible study and pray with Chris. And you could tell if one of us had some fragrance on us and she would get a reaction. Her cheeks would become flushed. Her memory would be a little bit foggy, and I know she had pain and would get very weak and have to do a lot of rest. So their house was her sanctuary. Neighbors, too, we farm so close that we do a lot of chemical spraying, so that was tough too. She could be outside if the air was clean, but if we were spraying, we would call her and say, we are spraying, the wind is in your direction, so she would have to shut herself off in her house and not go out until the air cleared up. which would take a few days usually. And of course, any visitors that came that weren't fragrance-free couldn't come in to visit her, or she would get very sick. So that would be tough. I know one time she had a dentist come out. She had a tooth that needed pulling. I know she probably tells that story, but he came out and just think no Novocaine, which would be hard. It hurts. So, and I know that was painful. And she does a lot of research on vitamins and so forth to help herself. She's a nurse, so she knew a lot about health and stuff too. So she did a lot of that. Oh, let's see. The one thing I guess I remember about Chris, or that I know about Chris that is amazing, is I've never heard her complain or say, why me? And she's always joyful and upbeat, which is quite amazing after all she's been through. Because she did miss out on a lot of things if you can't go anywhere, just even to see your family. Because she had a sister a ways away and a brother that lived on a farm, of course, not too far away, which they could come and visit, but she could not go there. So her life was pretty changed, but God was still watching over her. We prayed with her, and she had many people praying for her, so she would have good days also, and was able to do things and run her business, which was great. And then she, I think after 19 years, I know she tells the story of her healing, and the way we found out was she called us and said to come over. She told her family first, of course, and then she called some of us neighbors who would come over, and she told us her story, and it was amazing. And just think of God's mercy and His love and the power He has to do things in all our lives. And now she can go visit anywhere and eat anything, so it's just wonderful. And I know she has a good story about that. She's been a fantastic witness to a lot of people. All the doctors and nurses she's come in contact with, and other people that she can be a witness to and tell of just God's great power and being there for her all this time. So it's pretty amazing, her story and all that she can tell about that. I know there were many people praying for her and probably still are. And it's just great that she is such a witness to so many people and can tell her story. The one thing that is interesting is you could always call Chris because you knew she was always home. And now it's interesting, you call and she won't answer because they're out and about, which is wonderful. So it's a pretty amazing story.
Would you be able to share about the week when you guys all prayed for Chris and specifically for her healing?
Yes, when our prayer group met, we decided we should lay hands on her and pray at one point. And so we did one group. We laid our hands on Chris and prayed for her for healing and for less pain and that she wouldn't have reactions. And so we did do that. And a pastor from our church also came out and prayed for her at one point. And so there were many people praying for her all the time. And God was slowly healing her, I think, through those years. Mm-hmm. And then we always prayed, in our prayer group, we always had a Bible study, and we always had prayer requests. So we prayed for many different people in our community and all around.